Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wrinkled Genius podcast. Have you ever felt that sting when your kids talk over you, brush off your advice, or act like you're just not worth listening to anymore? Maybe you've asked them to call more often, or you've tried sharing a bit of wisdom from your years of experience, only to get an eye roll or a quick, "Yeah, whatever, Mom." It hurts, doesn't it? After 60, you'd think the tables would turn, that after all you've done raising them, they'd see you as the strong, capable person you are. But sometimes that respect you deserve feels like it's slipping away, and it can leave you wondering where things went wrong. I've been there, and I know plenty of folks who have too. It's not just frustrating, it can shake your confidence, especially when you're already navigating this stage of life where independence and self-worth matter more than ever. But here's the good news. You don't have to sit back and accept it. You can shift the dynamic, rebuild that respect, and feel valued again, not just by your kids, but in your own heart too. In this video, we're going to walk through 6 powerful ways to regain the respect you've earned. These are practical steps you can start today, rooted in understanding and strength, and they're all about taking back your place in the family without starting a war. So let's sit down together and figure this out, because you deserve to be heard and seen. Watch until the end, because you might be missing out on little things that could have a huge impact on your future. First off, let's talk about setting clear boundaries. I know that might sound a little stiff, like you're putting up a wall, but it's more like drawing a line in the sand that says, "This is how I expect to be treated." After 60, you've got every right to decide what's okay and what's not, whether it's how often they drop by unannounced or the tone they use when they disagree with you. When respect starts fading, it's often because those lines have gotten blurry over the years, and your kids might not even realize they're crossing them. Here's how you can start. Pick one thing that's been bothering you. Maybe they interrupt. You constantly or assume you'll babysit at the drop of a hat. Next time it happens, calmly say something like, "I'd love to help, but I need a heads up so I can plan my day," or "I'm happy to listen, but let's take turns talking." Keep it simple, firm, and kind. No yelling, no guilt trips. It's about showing them you value yourself enough to expect better. My friend Carol, who's 66, did this when her daughter kept canceling plans last minute. She said, "I look forward to seeing you, so let's stick to what we agree on." It took a few tries, but her daughter got the message, and now she shows up on time. The trick is consistency. If you set a boundary, stick to it. Don't cave just to keep the peace. It's not about being rigid. It's about teaching them that your time, your voice, your feelings matter. They might push back at first. Change isn't easy. But when they see you're serious, that respect starts creeping back in. You're not just their parent anymore. You're a person with a life of your own, and that's a powerful shift. Now, let's build on that with the second way. Modeling the respect you want to see. This one's a bit like leading by example. If you want them to treat you with dignity, show them what it looks like. After 60, you've got a lifetime of grace and strength to draw from, and sometimes your kids need a reminder of that. It's easy to slip into nagging or snapping when you feel dismissed, but flipping the script and treating them with the respect you're after can turn things around faster than you'd think. Take a moment, next time you're with them. Listen. When they talk, even if you don't agree, and hold off on jumping in with advice unless they ask. Say things like, "I really admire how you handled that," or "Tell me more about what you think." It's not about buttering them up, it's genuine, and it shows you see them as adults, not just your babies. My neighbor Jack, who's 71, tried this with his son, who'd been brushing him off for months. Jack stopped lecturing about back in my day and started asking about his son's work with real interest. Before long, his son was calling him for advice, not the other way around. This doesn't mean you roll over. It pairs with those boundaries we talked about. You're showing them respect while expecting it back, like a quiet signal that says, "This is how we do things now." It takes a little practice, especially if old habits run deep, but it's worth it. When they see you as someone who respects herself and others, they're more likely to mirror that back to you. Setting boundaries and modeling respect are like laying the groundwork for a relationship that feels good again, strong, mutual, and fair. And that brings us to the third way, communicating your feelings without blame. With boundaries set and respect modeled, you're already taking big steps to shift how your kids see you. Now, let's talk about the third way to regain that respect, communicating your feelings without blame. I know this might feel tricky. Nobody wants to sound like they're whining or pointing fingers, but this is about opening up in a way that's honest and strong. After 60, you've earned the right to say how you feel, and when your kids don't respect you, it's okay to let them know it stings. The key is doing it without turning it into a fight, so they hear you instead of shutting down. Here's how you can make this work. Next time something disrespectful happens, like they snap at you or ignore your input, pause and find a calm moment to speak up. Try something like, "When you cut me off earlier, I felt like my thoughts didn't matter, and that's tough for me." You're not saying, "You're rude," or "You always do this." You're just sharing what's in your heart. It's simple, direct, and puts the focus on your experience, not their flaws. My friend Linda, who's 63, used this when her son brushed off her advice about fixing his car. She said, "I feel a little invisible when you dismiss me like that." And he actually apologized, something she hadn't heard in years. The magic here is keeping it light but real. No lectures, no guilt trips. You might even add, "I just want us to understand each other better," to keep the door open. They might not respond right away. Sometimes it takes a minute to sink in. But when you speak from a place of strength, not anger, it plants a seed. Over time, they start seeing you as someone who's worth listening to, not just mom or dad they can tune out. It's not about winning an argument. It's about showing them your voice still carries weight. And while you're working on how you talk to them, let's shift gears to the fourth way, focusing on your own life. This one's a game changer, and it might feel a little selfish at first, but hear me out. After 60, you've spent decades pouring into your kids, raising them, worrying about them, putting their needs first. But when they don't respect you, it's often because they still see you as just the parent, not a person with your own spark. When you start living for yourself a little more, they notice, and that shift can flip the script on how they treat you. What does this look like? It's about finding things that light you up and diving in, whether it's a hobby, a trip, or just time with people who lift your spirits. Maybe you've always wanted to paint. Grab some brushes and a canvas and start messing around. Or take that weekend getaway you've been dreaming about, even if it's just a drive to the next town over. The point is to build a life that's yours, not tied to what your kids think or do. My cousin Marie, who's 69, started gardening after her daughter kept canceling visits. She turned her backyard into a little paradise, and now her daughter's the one asking to come over to see it. Start small if you're not sure. Sign up for a class at the community center, like pottery or dancing, or join a book club with folks your age. Say yes to invitations from friends, even if it's just coffee. It's not about cutting your kids out. It's about showing them you're not sitting around waiting for their approval. When they see you thriving, something clicks. They realize you're not dependent on them for your happiness, and that quiet strength commands respect in a way nagging never will. Plus, you'll feel better too, more like the person you've always been, not just mom or dad. Here's a tip. Next time they call, let them know what you've been up to. "Oh, I just got back from a painting class. It was a blast." It's casual, but it sends a message. Your world doesn't revolve around them anymore. They might not say it out loud, but they'll start looking at you differently. Someone with a life worth respecting, not taking for granted. And the best part? You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you, and that's where the real power lies. Communicating your feelings and focusing on your own life are like two sides of the same coin, speaking up for yourself and living in a way that backs it up. They show your kids you're still here, still vibrant, and still deserving of their regard. And that brings us to the fifth way, staying consistent with your expectations. Now that you're speaking up about how you feel and filling your days with things that make you happy, You're showing your kids a side of you they might have forgotten, one that's strong and worth respecting. Let's keep that energy going with the fifth way, staying consistent with your expectations. This one's all about holding the line, not in a stubborn foot-stamping way, but with a quiet firmness that says, "This is what I need from you, and I'm not budging." After 60, you've got every right to expect respect, but it won't stick unless you back it up every single time. Think about it like training a puppy. Okay, maybe not quite, but hear me out. If you let them jump on the couch one day and scold them the next, they're confused, right? It's the same with your kids. If you set a boundary like, "Don't talk over me," but let it slide half the time, they'll keep doing it because they know they can. Consistency is your power move here. Decide what matters most. Maybe it's them calling when they say they will, or treating you kindly in front of the grandkids, and stick to it. No exceptions. Here's how you can make it real. When they slip up, gently but firmly call it out. If they interrupt, say, "Hang on, I'd like to finish my thought," and keep going. If they flake on plans, try, "I was counting on that, so let's make it work next time." Don't yell or guilt trip, just stay steady. My friend Tony, who's 67, had a son who'd promised to visit then cancel last minute. Tony started saying, "I'll hold you to it next time," and wouldn't chase him down. After a few misses, his son got the hint and started showing up. Consistency paid off. It might feel awkward at first, especially if you're used to letting things go to keep the peace. But every time you hold that line, you're teaching them that respect isn't optional. It's the standard. They'll test you, sure, old. Habits die hard, but when they see you mean it, they adjust. It's not about being harsh. It's about showing them you're serious about your worth, and that's a lesson they'll carry forward. With that steady foundation in place, let's talk about the sixth way, letting go of guilt. This one's a biggie, and it might hit close to home. After 60, it's easy to feel like you've got to keep everyone happy, especially your kids, or you're somehow failing as a parent. Maybe you think, if they don't respect me, it's because I didn't do enough, or I should just take it to avoid a fight. That guilt can weigh you down, making you bend over backwards when they don't treat you right. But here's the truth. Their respect isn't your burden to carry. It's their choice, and you don't have to feel bad about expecting it. Letting go starts with a little shift in how you see things. You've raised them, loved them, given them your all. Your job's done, and now it's on them to meet you halfway. Next time that guilt creeps in, like when they huff because you won't drop everything for them, pause and remind yourself, "I've earned my peace." Say it out loud if you have to. I don't need to feel bad for wanting respect. It's like shaking off a heavy coat you've been wearing too long. My Aunt Rose, who's 72, used to feel terrible when her daughter snapped at her. She'd apologize, even when she wasn't wrong. Then she decided enough was enough. When her daughter got short with her over a missed call, Rose said, "I was busy, and that's okay. I'll call you when I can." No groveling, no guilt. Her daughter was thrown at first, but she softened up, and now their talks are way more even-keeled. Letting go of that guilt freed Rose to stand taller, and her daughter noticed. Try this. Next time you catch yourself feeling bad for holding a boundary or saying no, write it down, then toss it. Literally crumple that paper and let it go. You're not here to please everyone. You're here to live your life, and expecting respect is part of that. Your kids might not love it right away, but they'll respect you more when they see you're not bending under guilt anymore. It's liberating, and it's yours to claim. So there you have it, 6 powerful ways to regain respect when your children don't give it freely. You're setting boundaries, modeling how it's done, sharing your feelings, living your own life, staying consistent, and shaking off guilt. These aren't quick fixes, they're steps to build a relationship where you're valued, not overlooked. Start with one, like a calm "I'd like to be heard" or a morning just for you, and watch how it grows. You've spent years being their rock, now it's time to be your own, and they'll come around when they see that strength shining through. What do you think, which of these feels right for you to try first? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this has lit a little fire in you, give it a like and hit subscribe so we can keep tackling this stuff together. You're not just a parent, you're a person who deserves respect, and I'm rooting for you to claim it every day. Here's to standing tall and feeling good about it.